Hi everyone, today I'm going to chat with you a little bit about how things change as babies grow up. Um, Lots of times people do a really good job with that first introduction with their little infant. They're really careful about interactions between the little baby because the baby can't really do much on their own or try to interact much on their own with the pets in the household. And so a lot of times animals can do really well with little baby infants because they're always with the mom or the dad, and they're always, in really close proximity to the human, or sleeping in their confined space in their crib or bassinet or closed door nursery. They're not super intimidating to a lot of pets. So, something that's really important to note is that as children grow, they do go through different phases as they're learning and they're growing and they're developing. And those different phases, they're kind of like little different creatures as they grow up in the minds of your pets. A little infant is very, very different than an infant who is just learning how to roll over, is starting to make little squealy noises because they're excited about the world. And that's very different in the mind of your dog or your cat. They sound different, they're moving differently. And then as they learn how to be more mobile and they can crawl, that's a whole different thing because now it can approach me. And that can be scary for some pets. And then as they grow beyond that and they can kind of toddle around, but they're uncoordinated, they have very unpredictable movements, that can be scary for some pets. And then once they're able to actually like run and move, there's a lot of different motion associated with that. That can be something that can trigger like a play response, and big dogs can easily knock children over and hurt them. And so there are a lot of things to think about as kids grow in your house or as you have different aged kids come visit you. It's something that just because your dog or cat did really well when you had a friend over with an infant, they might not do quite as well if you have somebody over with a 5-year-old or with a teenager even. They're very different in the mind of your pet, and it does take some different training with different kids of different ages. If it's your kids who are growing up, just be very aware of your child's uh, development and when they're hitting different milestones, and make sure you keep up with training and building positive associations, as well as teaching how to interact with your child. Same with visitors. If you want them to be able to interact together and it's not somebody who's just coming for a short time and not going to be a big part of your life, a lot of times it's nicer to just put your pet away so you reduce the stress. But if it is somebody who's going to be coming over frequently and you are going to be having them visit, it can be nice to help build positive associations with those things. Make sure you're being cognizant of where eye contact is as kids grow. Depending on the size of your dog, that makes a difference on when they become eye level, and that can be intimidating for a lot of dogs. So be very aware of that, as well as sometimes little children go from just kind of being able to roll over to rolling multiple times in a row. And sometimes they can get from one side of the room to the other fairly quickly if you turn around, and you want to make sure that you're very aware of where your pets are in relation to where your baby is or your toddler is, because sometimes they move a little faster than you think they might be able to. You don't want them inadvertently getting too close to your pet, grabbing hold and just being really excited that they finally got them, and inadvertently pulling hair and causing pain, because pain can definitely cause reactions that we don't want in our pets. We want to keep both the child safe and your pet safe. So just be very aware of things as your child grows up. If you do notice some changes in your pet where they're either avoiding or doing extra attention seeking, or if they are pacing or panting more, things like that, if they're not eating normally, or they're giving a lot of like side eye where you can see the whites of their eye while you're holding the child or while the child is around, those are signs that your pet isn't really comfortable with the situation, and that you're definitely going to want to do some addressing of that, either through some training or giving some good spaces away where they can have time away from the interactions and that kind of thing. In some cases, medications can help or supplements can help, but there's a lot that can be done with training And if you recognize right away when your dog or cat is stressed by those things and those changes in their life, there's a lot that you can do to make a big difference and help with smoother transitions as children in the home grow. If you do have some concerns or you're seeing some of those changes and your pet is becoming more stressed as your child is growing, definitely reach out. I'd be happy to help you come up with a plan that works for you and your family.